I was leaned back. I'm like, no, y'all didn't. No, y'all didn't. I had a whole ghetto moment in the day. I said, no, y'all didn't. What is up, y'all? It's your girl Amber, and I am here for a special episode of Bigger Than Me, the podcast, where we know our victory is what? Bigger than our fears. Come on now, y'all already know. Now, for my new guests, we welcome you, okay? We are a place we love to talk about God, love to talk about life, and we love to keep it real, all right? If you are not already a member of the Bigger Than Me family, I want you to hit subscribe, hit that bell, and share this with your friends. And for my returning family, we love to see you here. So, this episode is the edition of my review on Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I've already put up the no spoiler. By now, you should have seen it. If you haven't, get out of this video right now. Share it first to the person you know who has seen it. But for those who have not, get out of this video right now. Go watch it. Pay for it. Or if you got it, go get an actual ticket, okay? Whether somebody treats you to it, whether your job gives it to you for free and the job paid for it, make sure you go get an actual ticket, see it, then come back and holler at this video, okay? Now, in my previous video, I stated I give the movie an 8.5 out of 10. That still stands, and I'm going to now explain why with spoilers. So, I'm going to start off with my favorite parts of the movie, my least favorite parts of the movie, and then we'll wrap up with some shockers, and we'll wrap it up from there, okay? So, my favorite parts. One, I loved the fact of how they had the queen boss up after T'Challa's death. Specifically, I'm discussing the scene where she's talking to the World Union, and they have captured these French people that tried to steal the vibranium from Wakanda and got hemmed up. The fact that they brought him in, they was on the floor like this, and the lady that we're representing France just in there like yeah, you busted. Stop trying to steal from me. I loved how they had the queen bossing up. I felt Angela Bassett gave an amazing performance in this movie. That scene where she went off on my girl saying, I have lost my entire family. Have I not given everything? I said, ooh, Angela. Yes, Lord. So those are my favorite moments with Angela. With we're gonna say that part for the surprise. Also, I loved the young scientist. She was funny, and I feel like they used her kind of to say what the audience was thinking. She like, why you bring the popo to my spot? It was hilarious. It was really hilarious. It was good to see Nakia again. It was very good to see Nakia again. You know, see her kind of getting her hands dirty again for Wakanda. As you know, M'Baku, that's my boy. He was hilarious in this. He said, "Fishman." That was another. M'Baku was the comedic relief. Him and the scientists were the comedic relief in this movie. It was hilarious. Some of my other favorite moments. I loved how they showed the battle that Shuri was having with how to handle her grief. Because that's a very real battle. You know, as a woman of color, I have noticed in my life that I'll put it this way. Well, you know, we're going to keep it real. I feel like people of color, specifically Black women, we are so praised for being strong that we are not allowed a lot of times to grieve and mourn and to be able to truly we are not allowed to grieve. We're not allowed to mourn a lot of times. We are not allowed to really deal with our emotion properly. We're just kind of told to keep it pushing. And then next thing you know, years go by and we're broken and we're wondering why. But it's because when the cracks were there, we did not take the time to fix those cracks. And then next thing you know, those cracks have become, you know, just canyons, big old holes that are very hard to fill. So I love how they showed that with Shuri. I love seeing the relationship between the women and the respect that the men had for the women that had to step up due to T'Challa's death in the movie. I love how they showed that. I love Namor and Shuri's connection. The connection they had due to them both understanding loss was so powerful throughout the movie, and it played itself throughout the entire film, all the way to the final battle scene where he's looking at her, she's looking at him, and they're both having flashbacks to how things were before this war broke out, and they're both seeing their mothers, and it was just beautiful. It was beautifully done. So those are my favorite moments. My least favorite moments, I did not like them killing Queen Mother. Ooh. And it was good acting, but that messed me. Ooh. And that's why Namor, I do not rock with him the same way I rocked with Killmonger. Because Killmonger would not have killed the Queen Mother. I'm sorry. He would not. His beef was with T'Challa, because he felt like T'Challa took what was rightfully his, even though it was not T'Challa's doing, it was his father's doing. But he felt T'Challa took what was rightfully his. He would not have killed Queen Mother. Namor looked dead at Queen Mother, looked at the scientists, went back, and then threw them water things and just drowned her with no. I said, no. I said, Namor, you wildin'. So that was the least favorite moment for me. Also, and I said this to my coworker before I left to go see it last night. I said, they bet not have Nakia, Lupita Nyong'o's character, they bet not have her have been pregnant when T'Challa died. And I'm going to tell, I know some of y'all like, that was such a beautiful moment at the end. I'm going to tell y'all why I don't like it. The first Black Panther already dealt with the topic of fathers dying and children being left in what a lot of people would consider a broken home. My thing is, why revisit that again with the second one? We do not need to see more broken homes as a plot line regarding people that are of a certain skin tone. I did not, to my core, I did not want them to go that route. And I was hearing rumors about it. I said, do not have Nakia have been pregnant and then T'Challa dies and now this child grow up without a father. We don't need to see that. And they dropped it in there at the very last minute anyway. I said, come on. I'm like, we don't need that, man. We don't need no more broken homes. Can we get rid of that narrative, please? So I did not like that. And that's one reason why I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. And some people were wondering, well, what was it? I don't want to see no more broken homes, god dang it. All right, so that I did not like. I also... And did they ever explain to us, and this was a moment of confusion, which is why I put it on my least favorite thing. Did they ever explain to us why the citizens of Namor's country, I think it was called Takanen, however they pronounce it, did they ever explain why the people were blue when they came out of the water, and when they would go back in the water, the skin tone seemed the same? Seemed like it would go back to regular skin tone? I don't think they ever explained that, and I noticed that. I'm like, why they skin tone go blue when they come out, but then when they go back in, everybody's skin tone, for the most part, go back to regular. That confused me a little bit. I don't like being confused. What else? I did not like, I forget his name right now, the Caucasian dude that was the inside person that was helping out the queen. His ex-wife got on my nerves. His ex-wife was annoying. Up in his house, drinking his wine, bugging his stuff. First of all, she should not have been elected to her position as his boss if they were exes, because that's conflict of interest. So I'm not sure who the heck thought that would be a good idea, because in real life, he would have had to get moved to a different squad or something, because they would have deemed that a straight conflict of interest. So I'm not sure who put that in there, Marvel people, but that was not a good idea. Let's see. Is there anything else I did not like particular? Those were the few things I was not feeling. Oh, and the time, there were a couple moments where the movie kind of moved a little bit slow. If they had made it, like I said in my last review, maybe about 15, 20 minutes shorter, I would have rocked that just a little bit more. Now, the surprise moments. Number one on my list, boy. They brought back Killmonger. Ooh, no, y'all don't understand. Okay, so I went to a theater here in Norfolk. I work in Norfolk now. That's my new position. I'll be explaining that further in a video, where I've been at. But I work in Norfolk. A theater is literally in a mall right next door, basically, to where I work. So I went straight from work. When I tell you I was in that theater when Shuri drank the juice from the artificial heart-shaped herb she created so she could become Black Panther, and they had somebody in a chair, I remember I kept going, who was she about to see? I said, it can't be Chadwick. It can't be T'Challa unless they made like a CGI version or a holograph version of Chadwick. I'm like, if it was Mama, we would see the head thing. And I'm like, I don't think it would be Daddy. So I'm like, who is in this chair? I was thinking it might have Mama. When she came around and it was Killmonger in white, perched up, had the locks, he's sitting there like this. What's up, cousin? I was leaned back. I said, I'm like, no, y'all didn't. No, y'all didn't. I had a whole ghetto moment in the I said, no, y'all didn't. She said, what is you doing here? He said, you asked for me. She's like, no, I didn't. He's like, yes, you did. He's like, is you going to be like your brother or you going to handle bit? I said, y'all better bring back my favorite villain. Y'all better bring back this truth speaker with his fine. Ooh, and he still look good. Ooh, Creed 3, y'all. I'm ready for you. Jonathan Majors looking yummy in there too. I'm ready for you to come out so I can see that good plot and see that flesh. Now this But I was so happy to see him come back. I said, yes, y'all been listening, y'all. Y'all been listening. Come on, somebody. So that was the first surprise. Ooh, that was my top surprise that made me go, yes, sir. Ooh, also, well, we already talked about the fact that I did not like the surprise of the child. Naming him T'Challa is beautiful. That's why I said I'm going to let it slide. But y'all need to stop promoting this broken home stuff. Stop that mess right now. Any other surprises that I liked or did not like? I liked the fact that they brought back the friend that they had where Shuri saved his life. I love that fact. They brought that back. It shows a nice a flow of connecting the first two films. The first film to the second film. Let's see. Any other big surprises that I liked? Or any other big surprises? I loved how when they had the scene of Namor going to bury his mother, how they showed the slavery and the whippings. Because as I said, the backstory of why Namor feels or how he feels about the surface world, aka regular humans, land above sea, it really, it gave more understanding to why he wanted to take down the quote-unquote surface world. He came up and saw that humans was up here tripping. And I love the historical accuracy of that. I love how they had the people of Talokan. They linked more to them being of Latin descent, which I love. Some people may not know this about me. I attend Iglesia Oasis de Vida. So my church is bilingual. Majority of the members of my church are majority of them are Puerto Rican, but majority of them are Spanish descent. There's some Dominican at my church, there's some Mexican, majority Puerto Rican, et cetera, et cetera. No, y'all, before you ask, I am not fluent in Spanish. I understand it a lot better than I used to, and I am able to sing in Spanish because I'm on the worship team. That's so I know how to sing in Spanish, Grande es Dios. I know how to sing in Spanish, but I don't speak it fluently. But I love how they showed that, and also how that then played into him and Shuri having the connection with her saying I would burn the whole world down, but also not only that, showing the connection of, and I know some people might not like me when I go this route, but showing the connection of a lot of times when you hear conversations about race relations, you'll normally hear people say black and brown people are treated unfairly. Normally it's kind of grouped into one, so to speak. And that's typically because of, certain environments, neighborhoods and stuff. Typically you have black people or people that are considered brown. Brown normally meaning of Latin or Spanish descent. So I love the fact of how they showed them two partnering up, kind of like black people or people that would be deemed black, because of course Wakanda is set in an African nation, but people that would be deemed black if they would come over here to the U.S., and people that are brown skin possibly teaming up to take down those that are not doing things correctly. I loved that and how they rocked that out, and the tying in the historic accuracy, so to speak, of the situation. Similar to how in the first Black Panther, they showed basically the rivalry between African Americans versus people that are African. In this movie, they kind of show African Americans versus people that are brown, more Latin or Spanish descent. I love how they play that out in the Black Panther franchise. The Black Panther franchise, in my opinion, are some of the more mature superhero movies that I've seen, because they hit on real topics that people are scared to talk about. So I did like that. Let me see. I love that, actually. Any other surprises, per se? Let's see here. Those were the main surprises that I loved. Those were the main surprises that I loved. Everything else, like I said, I did not love the surprise of them killing Queen Mother, so we not even going. But the movie itself was a whole experience. I planned to try to take my mother to go see it. I finally got her to see the first Black Panther, literally like last month. I had been trying to get her to see it for years, and it was just a whole situation. Her, being tired and falling asleep, her saying she didn't want to see it. I think her mom was just rebelling because she heard everybody loved the movie, and she's like, I don't want to be normal. But then I just put it on one day, and she got caught up in it. And the reason why I know it is because she started talking back to the movie. Talking about the husband that wanted Claw and stuff, and how he was turning on T'Challa like, you ain't loyal. I said, she in it now because she talking to the movie. She was having her moments. So I want to take my mother to go see it. I really think it is a great movie to take your children to see, especially if you want to kind of be able to explain some stuff to them historically and find kind of like a lane to do it. I think this is a great way to do it. There were some funny moments when I was going to see the movie. M'Baku, he is funny. He's talking about Fishman. He said the Fishman. Ooh. Oh, another great surprise. I'm happy that Shuri was able to get that artificial heart-shaped herb done. And I didn't even think about that when I was hearing about the second movie. I didn't think about the fact of, Killmonger burnt up all the herb. So when it does come time for T'Challa to pass away, they ain't got no way to install no new leader. I didn't think about that. So I love how, like I said, they had the movies flow so that they were connected, and it wasn't just stuff happening that never came back up again. Everything had a purpose for the most part, which I love. The movie was great. Like I said, I still give it 8.5 out of 10. I do not like the broken home stuff. No, I don't like it. No. And they made Shuri an orphan. That made me mad. But and another great surprise, how M'Baku was basically kind of like took on almost like a big brother role with Shuri. I love that part. Other than that, the movie was amazing. There was some funny moments in the theater I was in. A child fell asleep, I believe, and you kept hearing on and off in the theater them going, ugh, ugh. I'm like, yo, can you turn them on their side so that snoring can shut off? But the movie was fantastic. I'm very excited for the Black Panther franchise, with them bringing in the whole idea of a son. If they could possibly, move it forward a certain amount of years, and have the son take over. They did a third one. There's different ways they can go with it. You know what I'm saying? There is one thing that could, I think they were trying to be funny when M'Baku was like, I'm here to challenge, while Shuri was off burning her funeral garments. I'm like, are they trying to be funny? Are they trying to say M'Baku was taking over? That part confused me just a little bit. But the movie itself was very, very good. I give it 8.5 out of 10. So I give it A minus, basically. That's my A minus. I know a real A minus is a 9 out of 10, but I give this one an A minus on a curve. So that is my review with the spoilers for today. Once again, this is Amber. This is the Bigger Than Me podcast. Please remember, if you are not already a member of the family, I want you to subscribe. I want you to hit the notification bell. I want you to share, comment. Leave in the comments what your opinion of the movie was. Do you give it a higher score than mine, where it's a perfect 10 out of 10? Do you give it a lower score than mine? We're going to talk about this. We're going to keep it respectful in these comments, though. Okay, as I said in the last video, if I see disrespect in the comments, the Lord doth block you. Okay. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all later. Thank you for your support. You've been showing so much support to the channel on Instagram and on TikTok, here on YouTube, and we thank you so much for that. We've had a few videos go viral, get over 10,000 views on Instagram, so we love you all for that. We thank you all for that, all right? I love y'all. I will be speaking with you all soon, and remember that your victory is what? Bigger than your fears. I love y'all. Peace.